Welcome to Sleepy Gamer Stories, where games come to life in calm, soothing retellings made for rest and relaxation. Tonight, we'll drift into another unforgettable journey, told softly to ease your mind as you fall asleep. If you enjoy these stories, please remember to gently like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share a comment with your favorite scene or character. Your thoughts help guide which adventures we bring to life next. Wine falls quietly on the mining town of Narshe. The world feels cold, distant, and filled with a quiet unease. Three armored figures move steadily through the blizzard, their footsteps heavy against the stone. They are soldiers of the Empire, draped in hulking Magitech armor that hums with unnatural power. At their center walks a mysterious young woman with long green hair. Her eyes are empty, as though her will does not belong to her. Her name is Terra, though she does not yet know it. The soldiers flanking her are Biggs and Wedge, hardened men who speak with confidence. They have been sent on a mission by Emperor Gestal himself. Their task? To seize a strange creature hidden deep in Narshe's mines, an Esper said to hold incredible power. The Empire hungers for that power, and these three march forward without hesitation. As they descend into the town, the guards of Narshe try to resist, but against the Magitech armor they stand no chance. Beams of fire and bolts of ice streak through the blizzard, scattering the defenders. The townsfolk hide behind closed doors as the invaders press on. It is not a battle. It is a demonstration of the Empire's might. Deeper into the mines, the path narrows. The glow of crystals on the walls makes the stone shimmer like stars in the dark. At the end of the passage waits the prize, a frozen being encased in crystal, ancient and otherworldly. Its wings are spread as though caught in the middle of flight, its eyes glowing faintly with a strange living light. This is the Esper, a creature of legend said to hold magic beyond comprehension. As Terra and the soldiers approach, something awakens. The Esper's energy lashes out, filling the cavern with a light that shakes the air. Biggs and Wedge are thrown back, their cries fading into nothing. Terra collapses as the Esper's power surges into her. It feels not hostile, but almost like a call, a resonance deep within her soul. The crystal shatters. Darkness fills her vision. And then, silence. When she awakens, Terra finds herself in a small room, lying in bed. A man with a bandana and quick, careful eyes is watching over her. His name is Locke, a thief, or as he prefers, a treasure hunter. He has rescued her after she collapsed in the mines. But Terra cannot remember who she is, or why she was there. The only thing she knows is that the Empire had control of her, and that something outside, Narshe's guards are still searching for her. Locke realizes she is no ordinary girl and that she must be protected. He calls upon unlikely allies, Moogles, small creatures with fluffy white fur and tiny bat-like wings. Together, they stand against the guards and give Terra a chance to escape. And so, her journey begins. Not as a soldier of the Empire, but as someone lost between two worlds, seeking to discover who she truly is. The sun rises over the desert. Terra and Locke travel across the sands, the bitter cold of Narshe fading into the distance behind them. Ahead lies a vast castle, its walls gleaming like gold beneath the morning light. This is Figaro Castle, home to King Edgar, a man known both for his charm and his cunning. Within the halls of Figaro, Edgar greets Terra warmly. He is tall, handsome, and confident, with a playful smile that hides a sharp mind. Though he serves as king, he secretly sympathizes with the returners, the resistance group fighting against the Empire. He sees Terra not as a weapon, but as someone precious, someone whose power may one day change the balance of the world. As they speak, Edgar's brother Sabin lingers in memory. A martial artist who abandoned the throne long ago, Sabin chose a life of freedom over the burdens of royalty. The brothers' bond is complicated, one tied to family, to responsibility, and to choices that change their lives forever. But before Terra can learn more, trouble arrives. From the desert, a cruel laughter echoes. The sound is sharp, manic, and impossible to forget. Kefka, the Emperor's jester and general, has come. Clad in gaudy colors and a grin that hides madness, Kefka demands that Edgar hand over the girl. The Empire will not tolerate her escaping. Edgar remains calm, his charm as much a weapon as his blade. He stalls for time, speaking to Kefka with mock politeness. But when Kefka orders the desert itself to burn, Edgar makes his move. With a command, the entire castle begins to sink into the sands. Towers and walls vanish beneath the dunes, leaving Kefka cursing and shouting in disbelief. Escaping the flames, Edgar, Terra, and Locke ride into the desert on a mechanical chocobo. The wind rushes against them as they race toward the mountains. Terra, confused and frightened by her own powers, finds comfort in their company. Edgar reassures her, while Locke promises to protect her no matter what. Ahead, the path leads into the rugged mountains, where danger and destiny await. And though Terra cannot yet see it, her choices will bring together a band of heroes unlike any the world has known. The road winds into the mountains, where stone paths twist beneath the sky, heavy with clouds. Terra and Locke follow Edgar, the desert fading behind them. Soon they arrive at a bustling town, South Figaro. Here, the Empire's presence is felt more strongly. Soldiers patrol the streets, their armor clinking against cobblestone, while townsfolk whisper in hushed tones. Locke slips easily into the shadows. His skills as a treasure hunter and thief, though he refuses that word, make him invaluable. He knows how to move unnoticed, how to listen, and how to find the secrets hidden beneath the surface. Terra watches him with quiet curiosity. Though his heart is kind, there is sorrow in his eyes, something tied to a past he does not yet share. Their journey takes them beyond the town, into the slopes of Mount Colts. The air grows colder, the wind sharper, as they climb the rocky trails. Here, danger stirs. A figure waits in the mist, muscles rippling beneath his cloak. His name is Vargas, a martial artist consumed by anger and jealousy. He had once trained under Master Duncan, the same teacher who guided Edgar's brother Sabin. But Vargas' pride turned to bitterness, and he lashed out against the family he could not surpass. When the heroes confront him, Vargas sneers. He mocks Edgar and challenges the group, his strikes echoing like thunder across the cliffs. The battle is fierce, but it is interrupted by the arrival of a new warrior. From the shadows of the mountain steps forward Sabin, Edgar's brother. His strength is unmistakable, his presence commanding. Vargas taunts him, but Sabin answers not with words, but with his art. With a burst of speed, he channels his energy into a mighty strike, the legendary blitz technique. The mountains tremble as Vargas falls, defeated at last. With the battle over, Sabin greets his brother warmly, though their reunion is tinged with the weight of old choices. Edgar remained behind to rule a kingdom. Sabin chose freedom, wandering the world with his fists as his only companions. Yet here they stand together once more, their paths converging at a time when the world itself is in peril. Terra watches silently. She feels the bonds forming between these men, their strength, their loyalty, and their pain. And she wonders where she belongs in all of this. A girl caught between humanity and something far more mysterious. Their journey now leads toward the Returners, a group fighting against the Empire. But Terra's heart is restless, for she knows her powers may one day decide the fate of all. The mountain path leads down into a quiet valley where the river bends like a ribbon of silver beneath the trees. Here lies the hideout of the Returners, a small but determined group resisting the Empire's iron rule. Their leader is Bannon, an older man with sharp eyes and the weight of years etched into his face. He welcomes Edgar, Locke, and Sabin with respect, but his gaze lingers on Terra. Word of her power has already spread. How she commanded flames with her mind, how she survived the Esper's touch in Narshe. Bannon believes she could be the key to ending the Empire's dominance. But for Terra, these words bring no comfort. She looks down, uncertain. Her memories are fractured, and the thought of being used for war fills her with dread. She wonders if she is even human, or something else entirely. Bannon presses her for an answer. Will she stand with the Returners, or turn away? The others encourage her gently. Locke promises she is not alone. Edgar, with his sly grin, reminds her that destiny sometimes finds us whether we are ready or not. And Sabin, ever blunt but honest, speaks of fighting for those who cannot defend themselves. Bannon offers Terra his hand. To take it means to join their cause, to trust them, and to walk the path of resistance. The choice weighs heavily in her heart, but slowly she places her hand in his. A quiet understanding passes between them. She does not yet know who she is, but she will not run from what lies ahead. Not long after, news arrives of trouble near Narshe. The Empire is stirring once more, and the Returners must move quickly. Bannon suggests traveling by raft down the Lethe River, a path swift but dangerous. With no other choice, the group agrees. As they drift into the rushing waters, the current carries them toward uncertainty. The river splits, and with it, so do their fates. Soon, each will be scattered across different paths, forced to walk alone for a time before destiny draws them back together. And so the story begins to widen, threads pulling apart only to be woven once more. Terra gazes at the water rushing past, her reflection rippling and unclear, just as her future remains. The river rages, splitting the party apart. The Returners are scattered, each carried toward their own fate. 3 stories begin to unfold, each thread weaving into the greater tapestry. Locke awakens in South Figaro, the Empire already tightening its grip on the town. Soldiers march in the streets, their boots echoing against stone walls. To move freely, Locke disguises himself, slipping past patrols and helping townsfolk escape the oppression. His clever tricks and quick thinking keep him hidden, but there is a deeper reason for his determination. Locke's heart carries the burden of loss, a past love he could not protect. To him, every rescue is a chance to make up for what was taken from him long ago. Far away, Sabin is swept into a very different journey. Thrown deep into the wilds, he meets a mercenary named Shadow. Silent and cold, Shadow travels with his faithful dog, Interceptor. He fights for coin, but his presence is marked by mystery. Together, the two cross paths with Cyan, a proud knight of Doma Castle. Cyan's world shatters when Kefka, in a cruel act, poisons Doma's river. Cyan watches helplessly as his king, his comrades, and his beloved family collapse before his eyes. His cry of grief shakes the heavens, and vengeance drives him to strike against the Empire with a fury no man could contain. Bound by fate, Cyan, Sabin, and Shadow flee into the haunted woods. The trees whisper in unnatural silence, and before long, they find themselves aboard the Phantom train. This ghostly locomotive carries the souls of the departed to the afterlife. Cyan's grief becomes unbearable as he glimpses his wife and child boarding among the spirits. He runs after them, but the train pulls away, carrying them beyond his reach. Sabin places a firm hand on his shoulder, reminding him that though they are gone, their love remains. The train fades into the night, leaving Cyan in quiet sorrow. Meanwhile, Terra's path is calmer, though no less important. She drifts with Edgar and Bannon, returning toward Narshe. Along the way, she feels the weight of Bannon's words, that she may hold the power to change everything. Edgar tries to keep spirits high, his wit sharp even against the looming shadow of the Empire. But Terra remains quiet, the questions within her heart louder than any laughter. 3 stories, 3 struggles, each filled with pain, with courage, with the first sparks of bonds unbroken. Soon, these threads will meet again in Narshe, where the Empire's hand reaches once more. The night is heavy with mist as Sabin, Cyan, and Shadow stand before the iron rails of the phantom train. Its whistle cries like a mournful spirit, echoing across the woods. Lanterns flicker along its carriages, but instead of passengers, the seats are filled with silent shades, souls on their way to the afterlife. The 3 warriors climb aboard, the ground trembling beneath their feet. The train feels alive, as though it knows they do not belong. The air is cold, the walls lined with whispers. Shadows dance across the windows, and every door opens to another mystery. Sabin, strong and fearless, pushes forward, fists clenched, daring the train to oppose him. Cyan, noble but broken, feels the weight of every step. He knows this train carries souls, including those he lost at Doma Castle. His grief is raw, heavy as iron. Shadow moves silently, speaking little. Strange creatures appear in the carriages. Ghastly beings with hollow eyes. Spirits who test the intruders. The battles are quick, but haunting. Yet Sabin, with his mighty blitz techniques, sends them scattering like smoke. And when the train itself rises in anger, its great engine twisting like a beast, Sabin meets it head-on. With a roar of defiance, he grips the wheels of fate itself. In a feat that becomes legend, he throws the phantom train down with his own strength, his suplex shaking the spirit world. The train shudders, defeated. But before they can leave, its whistle calls once more, soft and sorrowful. Cyan turns, his heart stopping as he sees 2 familiar figures step onto the platform. His wife, gentle and graceful. His child, small and smiling. They look at him with warmth, but their eyes already belong to the other side. Cyan runs to them, desperate, his voice breaking as he pleads for them to stay. But the train's doors close, and the lanterns glow. His family waves one last time, their forms fading as the train pulls away. Cyan collapses, his tears falling against the steel rails. Sabin kneels beside him, steady as a rock, and Shadow's dog, Interceptor, rests its head near Cyan's arm, offering silent comfort. The night grows still again, the train's whistle carried away into the dark. The 3 warriors walk on, their bond now stronger, their pain deeper. Cyan carries sorrow that will never leave him, but he also carries the memory of love, something that will give him strength in the battles ahead. Snow falls once more over Narshe. The town is restless, its people uneasy. For the Empire has not forgotten the Esper, hidden deep within the mines. Word spreads quickly. The creature that nearly destroyed Terra at their first meeting still sleeps in the ice, and Kefka marches here with soldiers at his back. One by one, the scattered heroes return. Locke slips quietly into the town, always moving in the shadows. Edgar and Sabin reunite at last, their brotherly banter hiding the deep relief they feel in seeing each other alive. Cyan carries the weight of grief, but stands proud, determined to fight. Shadow lingers on the edge, distant yet willing to lend his blade for now. And Terra, at the center of it all, feels the pull of the Esper once more, a strange connection that frightens and fascinates her in equal measure. The returners prepare for the defense of Narshe. It will not be a simple battle. Kefka's forces approach from all sides, his laugh echoing across the frozen cliffs. He does not fight for honor or victory. He fights for cruelty, for chaos, for the sheer joy of destruction. The battle begins as groups of allies spread out across the snow, facing wave after wave of armored soldiers, beasts, and machines. The icy winds sting their faces, but they do not falter. Sabin's fists crash against steel. Locke's blade flashes quick as thought, and Terra's magic sparks, fire blooming in the white snow. The townspeople, watching from windows and rooftops, see something they have not felt in years. Hope. At last, Kefka himself steps forward. His garish outfit is as absurd as his grin is terrifying. With mocking words, he taunts the heroes, treating the battle like a game. But when he sees Terra's power, his grin twists into hunger. She is the key, and he wants her for the Empire. The defense rages on until, finally, Kefka is driven back. The returners stand victorious, though exhausted. The Esper, however, stirs again within the frozen cavern. Terra approaches, drawn by something beyond her control. The glow of the crystal shines upon her, and her heart races. The others call her name, but she does not answer. In that moment, a surge of light explodes from the Esper. Terra's body is consumed in a blinding aura. Wings of fire seem to form behind her, her hair flowing in a storm of energy. She transforms into something beyond human, an Esper in living flesh. The power bursts outward, scattering her companions. When the light fades, Terra is gone. The others look to the sky, the snow still falling, the silence heavy. Terra's mystery has deepened, and the question remains, what is she, and where has she gone? The party searches far and wide for Terra, following whispers of her flight after her transformation. Their path leads them through small towns and winding roads until they arrive in a place unlike any other, Zozo. Zozo is a city of thieves, liars, and danger. The buildings rise high, their windows broken, rain falling endlessly from a gray sky. Every voice in Zozo speaks deceit, every smile hides a trick. Yet hidden here, the heroes find Terra. She lies weak, her body trembling, unable to control the power that burst forth from her. At her side is a scholar named Rama, an aged Esper who has chosen to guide them. He explains that Terra's blood is not fully human. She is half Esper, born from two worlds. Her confusion, her power, her very existence is proof of a bond long thought impossible. Ramu offers them a gift. He cannot accompany them, for his strength fades, but he passes on his magicite, the crystallized remains of an Esper's essence. Through this, the heroes may call upon powers greater than their own. Terra, frightened but calmer now, agrees to continue with them. She will search for understanding, for a place where she belongs. Their journey soon takes them to Jidor, a refined town of wealth and art. There, they hear of a crisis in the Grand Opera House. A famous diva, Maria, has been targeted by a rogue airship gambler named Setzer, who plans to kidnap her during her performance. To stop him, and to secure his airship for the returner's cause, the heroes devise a plan. Celes, proud and beautiful in her own right, agrees to take Maria's place on stage. Dressed in flowing gowns, she stands before the audience beneath the golden lights. The orchestra swells, violins weeping as her voice carries through the theater. Her song tells of love and loss, of waiting for someone who may never return. The audience falls silent, spellbound by her voice. Even Locke, watching from behind the curtain, feels his heart stir in ways he cannot put into words. But the performance is interrupted. Ultros, the mischievous octopus who has crossed their path before, crashes the stage in chaos. The heroes rush to fight him off while the audience gasps, the performance twisting into comedy and danger. With laughter and shouts filling the hall, Setzer finally makes his move, swooping in to take Maria aboard his airship, the Blackjack. Yet once on deck, he learns the truth. It is Celes, not Maria, who stands before him. Bold and unafraid, she bargains with him. She offers a coin toss. If Setzer wins, he may take her. If he loses, he must aid their cause. With Locke's clever hand guiding the trick coin, the gamble is decided. Setzer, a man who lives for risk and chance, laughs and accepts. The airship Blackjack now belongs to their rebellion. As the ship soars into the skies, Terra looks out across the clouds. She does not yet know where her path will lead, but for the first time, she feels she is not alone. Around her stand allies who believe in her, and with them, she may yet uncover who she truly is. The Blackjack sails through the clouds, its wings of steel cutting across the sky. For the first time, the returners move freely above the world, no longer bound to the roads below. Terra stands at the rail, the wind in her hair, her heart caught between wonder and fear. Somewhere in the distance lies the Empire, and with it, the answers she has long sought. Their journey carries them into Imperial territory. The city of Vector rises before them, a sprawling maze of iron and smoke. The air tastes of ash, the streets dark with soot. Towers of machinery loom above, their gears and pipes hissing with steam. This is the heart of the Empire's power, the Magitech research facility, where magic is twisted into weapons. Inside, the halls glow with unnatural light. Tubes line the walls, each containing the forms of espers, their bodies trapped in crystal prisons. Their eyes are closed, their breath stilled, their power drained to fuel the Empire's machines. Terra feels her chest tighten. These are her kin. Beings like the one she met in Narshe. Beings like the father she has never known. As they press deeper, the heroes encounter Sid, the engineer behind the Magitech experiments. He is a weary man, burdened by guilt. He explains the truth. The Empire's soldiers are infused with the stolen life of espers. Magic, once the gift of a hidden world, has been reduced to fuel for war. Terra listens in silence, the ache of belonging and betrayal burning inside her. It is here that Kefka appears once more. His laughter fills the chamber, shrill and cruel. He mocks the suffering of the espers, caring nothing for their pain, only for the power they provide. The party clashes with him, but Kefka flees, leaving chaos in his wake. The heroes escape the facility with pieces of magicite, the last remnants of dying espers who chose to pass their power on willingly. In their final moments, they look to Terra, recognizing her as one of their own. Their light envelops her, and once more her form shifts. Wings spread from her back, her body shining with esper energy. This time, the transformation is not violent. Terra feels warmth within her, a recognition of what she truly is, half human, half esper, a bridge between two worlds. For the first time she understands. She is not cursed. She is not a monster. She is something new, something with the power to unite what has long been divided. The others gather around her as she collapses gently, exhausted but at peace. Locke carries her carefully, his voice soft with concern. Edgar and Sabin exchange glances, knowing the fight ahead will demand more than any of them have yet given. Above the smog of Vector, the Blackjack rises again into the sky. The world feels darker now, yet also filled with a strange hope. For in Terra's heart, the question is no longer what the Blackjack sails eastward, carrying the weary heroes to a quiet village at the edge of the world. This place is Doma, a town shrouded in secrecy, hidden by forests and mountains. The people here live simple lives, yet there is something unusual about them. Magic flows in their blood, though they hide it carefully from outsiders. It is here the group meets Strago, an elderly mage with sharp eyes and a heart that still burns with youthful fire. His spells are ancient, passed down through generations, a reminder of when magic was part of daily life. With him is his granddaughter, Realm, a young girl with boundless energy and a gift for painting. Though mischievous, She carries a rare power. Her brush can capture the essence of any creature she sees, bringing its spirit to life upon the canvas. The heroes barely have time to settle before trouble finds them. Ultros, the troublesome octopus who has haunted their path before, appears once more. With his tentacles flailing and his laughter bubbling like the sea, he threatens to disrupt everything. But this time, Realm bravely steps forward. With paintbrush in hand, she turns Ultros's own likeness against him, her art striking as sharply as any blade. Embarrassed and defeated, Ultros flees once again, swearing revenge. Yet beyond this small battle, something greater is stirring. The Espers, those ancient beings of power, are restless. Drawn to Thamasa, they appear in a fury, their voices carried on the wind. Their anger is not for the returners, but for the Empire, who imprisoned and drained their kin in Vector. Flames rise, the ground shakes, and the sky splits with their cries. The heroes plead for calm, but it is too late. The Espers rage across the land, striking fear into all who see them. The destruction spreads quickly, and Emperor Gestal seizes the moment. With Kefka at his side, he declares a plan to capture this unleashed power for himself. Terra watches in horror, torn between two halves of her soul. She is human, yet she is Esper, and the fury of these beings feels like it burns in her own chest. She wonders if peace is even possible, if a world torn between two races can ever heal. Locke tries to reassure her, but even his voice trembles with uncertainty. The world feels as though it is slipping, slowly but surely, into the hands of madness. And somewhere, Kefka's laughter rings louder, carried by the fire and smoke.
In the days that follow the Esper's rampage, a strange message arrives. Emperor Gestal himself calls for peace. He invites the returners to the imperial capital, promising a truce, promising to end the cycle of war. It feels impossible, almost absurd. But weary of fighting, the returners accept. Terra in particular clings to the hope that reconciliation might be real, that humans and Espers could one day walk the same world together. With heavy caution, they step into Vector once more. The city is changed. Where smoke once filled the sky and soldiers lined the streets, there are banners of peace and speeches of forgiveness. Gestal greets them warmly, his tone fatherly, his words dripping with sincerity. He blames Kefka for the Empire's cruelty, assuring them that things will now be different. For a moment, some even believe him. Bannon, cautious yet hopeful, allows himself a rare smile. Locke watches Terra closely, protective of the spark in her eyes. She wants this to be true so badly. Together, they agree to travel with Gestal to a distant land, where the gate to the Esper world lies sealed. The Emperor claims he wishes only to mend the rift, to calm the Espers and prevent further destruction. But the returners soon realize this is another deception. As the gate opens, the Espers burst forth, their fury uncontained. They soar across the skies, their magic tearing apart ships and buildings, their cries shaking the heavens. The returners watch helplessly as Vector itself burns under their wrath. Gestal, meanwhile, sees only opportunity. He cares nothing for peace, only for the power before him. And Kefka revels in the chaos. Where Gestal hides behind smooth words, Kefka is the raw truth of cruelty. His laughter pierces the fire, manic and sharp, as he orders the capture of every Esper that dares appear. Amidst this storm, The earth itself trembles. From the sea rises a vast landmass, torn from the world by the power of the espers. It climbs into the sky, jagged cliffs hanging above the clouds. This is the floating continent, the Empire's new throne of conquest, a scar upon the heavens. The returners escape the devastation below, but their hearts are heavy. They now know the truth. Peace was an illusion, and the Emperor seeks not to end the war, but to crown himself with godlike power. And at his side, Kefka waits, his grin wider than ever. The floating continent hangs high above the clouds, a jagged world of stone and shadow. The air is thin here, the ground glowing faintly with the power of espers sealed within. The returners step carefully across its broken bridges, every step echoing in the silence of the sky. They are not alone. Waiting for them is Shadow, the mercenary who walks always between light and dark. His words are few, his loyalty uncertain, but in this moment, he stands with them. Perhaps he senses the weight of what is to come, or perhaps some quiet bond still holds him to the group. Interceptor pads silently at his side, loyal as always. The path twists through battles and strange guardians, until at last the heroes arrive at the heart of the continent. There stand Emperor Gestal and Kefka, waiting beside the sealed power of the warring triad, three ancient statues said to shape the balance of magic itself. Their energy hums like a heartbeat in the air. Gestal spreads his arms wide, his voice full of triumph. He speaks of ruling the world with the might of the triad, of reshaping life itself. He promises glory, order, and dominion everlasting. But Kefka only laughs. His laughter rises higher and higher until it drowns even the Emperor's words. In one sudden moment, betrayal strikes. Kefka shoves Gestal from the heights, casting the Emperor to the abyss below. His madness is revealed in full. He has no interest in serving, no interest in order. He wants only power, chaos, and the ruin of all things. The statues tremble as Kefka approaches, their balance disrupted by his hands. The very world shudders, pieces of the floating continent crumbling away into the sea of clouds. The returners fight desperately against him, but Kefka's laughter rings out even in the midst of battle. He is no longer bound by reason, only by his hunger for destruction. In the chaos, Shadow lingers behind, his voice calm despite the storm. He stays to delay Kefka, urging the others to escape. Time counts down as the party races toward their airship, the ground collapsing beneath their feet, the sky tearing apart around them. If they wait, if they trust, Shadow can be saved at the very last moment. But if they flee too soon, he is lost forever in the falling continent. And then it happens. The sky itself breaks. The floating continent shatters, its fragments raining down upon the world below. Oceans rise, cities crumble, the land twists under the weight of magic unbound. What was once whole is broken. What was once beautiful is drowned in ruin. Kefka ascends, his laughter echoing across the destruction. From the wreckage, a new world is born, not of balance, but of despair. And in that moment, the age of ruin begins. The world is silent. The seas are dark. The skies heavy with ash. Islands lie broken, scattered like forgotten stones across the waves. This is no longer the same world. It is a world of ruin. On a small, lonely island, a single figure lies still upon a bed. Celes opens her eyes slowly, her body weak, her spirit heavier still. She does not know how much time has passed since the continent fell, only that everything has changed. At her side sits Sid, the old engineer of the Empire. His face is tired, but kind. He explains gently that she has been asleep for a year, cared for as best he could manage. But the island is desolate. The sea is empty, the horizon gray. Only the cries of gulls break the silence, and even they sound mournful. Celes nurses Sid, who has grown ill. Each day she brings him fish from the shore, hoping to keep him alive. She speaks to him softly, her voice fragile in the vast emptiness. Some days he grows stronger, other days he fades. And if the wrong fish are brought, his body weakens more quickly. Celes tries again and again, her heart clinging to hope, but fate is cruel. One morning she finds him lying still, his breath gone. Grief overwhelms her. She stumbles out onto the cliff above the ocean, the wind cutting against her face. Alone in this ruined world, with nothing left, her spirit cracks. She whispers to the waves, then closes her eyes and steps forward. The sea rises to meet her. But then, soft wings beat against the sky. A seagull lands near her, carrying in its beak a shred of cloth, a bandana. Locke's bandana. Her eyes widen, her heart surging with memory. He is out there, somewhere. Perhaps others too. Perhaps she is not alone, after all. With trembling hands, she pulls herself back from the edge. Her sorrow does not vanish, but a spark of determination remains. She will search. She will gather whoever survives. She will fight again. Not for the Empire, not even for destiny, but for the simple chance that hope still exists. She builds a raft from scraps of wood, the tide carrying her away from the lonely island. The ruined world stretches out before her, dark and uncertain. But in her heart, a promise takes root. She will not give in to despair. Not yet. The journey into the world of ruin has begun. The raft carries Celes across the gray waters, until at last she reaches the mainland. The world before her is broken. Villages lie in ruins, forests burned, oceans turned dark and restless. The skies never clear, and the land itself feels tired, as though it mourns what was lost. Still, Celes walks on. She travels through the wreckage. Her first reunion comes in the desert. Figaro Castle, once proud and golden, has sunk beneath the sands and vanished. But Celes soon finds Edgar, though not as a king. Disguised as a wandering thief, he has taken on a false identity to protect his people. When Celes discovers him, he sheds the mask with a smile, his old charm flickering back. Together, they raise Figaro Castle once more, its towers emerging from the dunes like a buried memory brought back to life. Elsewhere, Sabin lends his strength to the broken world. When a collapsing house threatens to bury villagers inside, he throws his body against the beams, holding the weight of stone and wood as the people escape. His voice is steady, his muscles straining, but he will not falter until the last child is safe. When he finally emerges, he greets Celes with a grin, as though no ruin could ever break his spirit. Far to the east, in the hills of Doma, Cyan has secluded himself within a ruined castle. He writes letters in secret, comforting a woman in a distant town who believes her beloved still lives. He sends her hope, though his own heart is heavy with sorrow. When the party finds him, he joins again with quiet dignity, though the ghosts of his past linger always at his side. One by one, the scattered heroes begin to return. Shadow appears briefly, always distant, his loyalty uncertain. Realm, now grown braver, wields her paintbrush with determination. Strago watches over her, though he struggles to keep up with her fiery will. Locke's whereabouts remain a mystery, though whispers of him linger. Terra, too, is absent, her fate still hidden. Every step is slower now. Every reunion is touched with grief. The world is darker, crueler, but it has not crushed them entirely. And with each friend found,
Celes feels the spark of hope grow stronger. The world has fallen, but the heroes rise again. The journey through the ruined world takes Celes and her companions to far-flung places, where hope is hidden in unexpected forms. Though the land is scarred, its people scattered, the heroes begin to gather allies once more. In the wilds, they find Gal, the feral boy who once lived on the veldt. Though older now, his eyes still shine with innocence, and his strange mimicry of beasts proves invaluable. He leaps with joy at seeing familiar faces, as though the ruin of the world means nothing beside the warmth of companionship. High upon the cliffs of Narshe, the Mughal Mog waits, his small wings fluttering. Though many of his kin have fled, Mog remains behind, loyal and cheerful. He dances through battle with surprising grace, channeling the rhythm of the earth itself. His laughter brings a rare lightness to the party, a reminder that even in despair, joy can survive. Deeper still into the frozen caves of Narshe, they encounter Umaro, the massive Yeti. Towering and fierce, he is first an adversary, but Mog's gentle persuasion softens him. With a grunt and a nod, Umaro joins, his great strength a silent promise of protection. And in the strangest of places, the depths of a forgotten dungeon, they discover Gogo. Shrouded in bright garments and mystery, Gogo speaks little, their face hidden entirely. Yet Gogo's gift is unmatched, the ability to mimic perfectly the actions of others. Friend or foe, blade or spell, Gogo can reflect it all. They remain an enigma, but an ally nonetheless. As the group grows, so too do the stories that unfold. Cyan confronts dreams of his past, where phantoms of guilt haunt him. Strago and Realm find strength in their bond as grandfather and granddaughter, proving that family endures even through ruin. Sabin's laughter echoes when the weight is too heavy, his spirit carrying the group forward. Every new companion adds not only strength, but healing. Each one represents a thread of the world that survived: wildness, joy, mystery, resilience. Slowly, the scattered pieces of their lives knit together, forming once more a tapestry of defiance against despair. And yet, in the distance, Kefka's tower looms. The mad clown has reshaped the very earth into a monument of ruin, his laugh carried on the winds like a cruel reminder. The heroes know they must face him, but before that final step, there are hearts still to heal, bonds still to mend, and truth still to uncover. The ruined world still hides hearts that have not given up, and as the heroes search, they find Terra once more. She is not wandering the skies or seeking power. Instead, she is in the quiet village of Mobliz, where the Empire's destruction left behind orphans with no families. Terra has taken them in, her once uncertain heart now devoted to protecting the children. When the party arrives, they see a gentleness in her they had never seen before. The children cling to her, calling her their mother, their guardian. Terra admits she cannot fight anymore, that her spirit is tired of bloodshed. She wishes only to care for the little ones who depend on her. But when a monstrous force threatens Mobliz, Terra feels her heart torn. She knows she cannot turn away. With courage reborn, she fights, not as a weapon of the Empire, not as an esper, but as a protector. In that moment, she chooses humanity, embracing both sides of who she is. Elsewhere, Locke's story comes into focus. Long has he carried the weight of Rachel, the woman he loved and lost. Her death haunted him, her memory bound to every promise he made to protect others. In the ruins of the world, he searches for a way to save her, clinging to hope even where none seems possible. His journey leads him to the Phoenix Magicite, a gem of rebirth and fire. With it, Locke brings Rachel's spirit back for a fleeting moment. She awakens, her voice soft and warm, her eyes meeting his with love unbroken by time. She thanks him, telling him to let go of his guilt, to live for himself, and to protect others not as atonement, but as his true calling. Then, with grace, she fades once more, her spirit at peace. Locke weeps, but the weight he has carried for so long finally lifts. The others, too, confront their own truths. Each ally begins to heal in small ways, finding strength in forgiveness, in love, in purpose. What once felt like a scattered band of survivors now grows into something more. They are no longer just rebels, no longer just wanderers. They are a family, bound by the ruin of the world and their choice to rise above it. And beyond it all, Kefka waits in his tower of twisted stone, drawing power from the warring triad. His madness poisons the skies, his laughter carried across the horizon like thunder. The heroes know the time to face him draws closer, but first, the last stories of their hearts must be told, so they can stand together without fear. The world of ruin stretches wide before the heroes, and before they can face Kefka's tower, there are threads of destiny still waiting to be tied. Each ally must confront their past, their fears, and their unfinished stories, for only then will they stand whole against the darkness. Across the land, whispers speak of 8 legendary dragons, ancient beasts awakened by the shattering of the world. Each one embodies an element: flame, ice, storm, and more. Guardians of power that no longer belongs to a balanced world. One by one, the heroes track them down, their battles fierce and unrelenting. When the last dragon falls, a great treasure stirs, the Crusader Magicite, proof of victory against forces as old as the earth itself. Others seek closure in quieter ways. Cyan returns to Doma, where the ghosts of his family and comrades linger in his dreams. Within a world of phantoms, he faces illusions of guilt and despair. At last, he learns to forgive himself, to honor his wife and child not with endless sorrow, but with the strength to live on. When he awakens, he feels their presence not as chains, but as wings. Shadow, ever distant, allows fragments of his past to surface. His true name, Clyde, once belonged to a thief who betrayed and abandoned. His silence has been his penance, his bond with Interceptor, his only constant companion. Though he rarely speaks of it, his path reminds the others that even the most broken lives can still find loyalty and meaning.
Strago and Realm face their own test, standing side by side against foes from the past. In their bond, there is warmth, a reminder that family can endure even through ruin. Gao, once the wild child of the Veldt, meets the father who abandoned him. Though the reunion is clumsy and uncertain, still, in the laughter of his friends, Gao finds the family he always longed for. Every journey, every memory, becomes a piece of armor against despair. The heroes gather not just weapons and magicite, but the strength of their hearts. Each step forward is a step away from regret, and a step closer to hope. When they return to the airship, the world below them scarred and trembling, they know they are ready. For the first time since the world was torn apart, they stand not as fragments, but as one. And in the distance, Kefka's tower rises, a grotesque monument to madness. Its twisted walls scrape the heavens, built of stone, ruin, and despair. From within, his laughter still echoes, calling them to the final battle. The end draws near. The airship drifts over a land broken and scarred, its shadow falling across the earth. Ahead rises Kefka's tower, a twisted monument of ruin, built from the shattered remains of the world. It climbs into the heavens, jagged and unnatural. From within, Kefka's laughter echoes, sharp and endless, carried on the poisoned winds. The heroes gather on the deck. They have searched the world, faced their pasts, and reclaimed their strength. Now, together, they step forward as one. Celes leads with quiet resolve. Locke stands tall at her side. Terra's eyes glow with determination. And each companion, Edgar, Sabin, Cyan, Shadow, Realm, Strago, Gao, Mog, Umaro, and Gogo joins in silence. No words are needed. Their hearts are bound. The tower is vast, its halls filled with twisted machines, warped monsters, and shadows of despair. They climb in groups, splitting their strength across 3 paths, each one carrying its weight toward the heart of madness. Step by step, they ascend. At the summit, beneath a sky torn with thunder, they find him. Kefka waits at the center of the warring triad, his body glowing with stolen power. He no longer wears the face of a jester. His form has grown radiant and terrible, a mockery of divinity. His laughter shakes the earth as he declares himself the god of destruction. He does not seek to rule. He does not seek to create. He seeks only to tear everything down, until nothing remains but silence and his laughter. The fight climbs in stages, through visions of angels, demons, and statues towering above them. The music of the world itself rises, a chorus of defiance against despair. One by one they strike, their courage piercing even Kefka's godlike power. Terra channels the strength of her Esper blood. Celes commands the light of magic. Sabin's fists crash like thunder, and Locke fights not for atonement, but for the future Rachel wished him to see. Every ally, every friend lends their will. At last Kefka falters. His laughter cracks. His power shatters. In one final flash, he is consumed by the very destruction he worshipped. Silence falls. The warring triad dissolves, their power fading into the sky. The tower begins to collapse. The heroes race to escape, stone and flame falling all around them. In the chaos, Terra's body glows. Her Esper half is bound to the fading magic of the world. If magic disappears, so will she. She stumbles, her form flickering. But as she runs, she feels something new. The hands of the children she protected in Moblez, the warmth of her friends, the bonds of her humanity. And with that, she finds her answer. She is not fading. She is becoming whole. Her Esper half dissolves, leaving her fully human at last. The airship soars away from the collapsing tower, the wind rushing across the heroes' faces. Below them, the world begins to heal. The skies clear, the seas calm, and the land breathes again. For the first time since the fall, there is hope. Terra looks out across the horizon, her green hair shining in the sun. She feels the weight of her journey, the sorrow and the joy, but also a quiet peace. Around her stand friends who have become family. Together they have brought light back to the world. And as the airship sails into the dawn, the story of ruin becomes the story of rebirth. The airship Falcon glides quietly across the skies. The tower has fallen, Kefka is gone, and for the first time in a long time, the world breathes freely. Below, the land is scarred, but alive. Fields beginning to show green again, rivers flowing without poison, and skies touched with light instead of ash. On the deck, the companions gather, their faces soft with relief and exhaustion. They do not speak of victory with cheers, but with quiet gratitude. One by one, they think back to what they have lost and to what they have gained. Terra stands at the railing, her green hair drifting in the wind. For so long she struggled with who she was, human, Esper, or neither. Now she understands. The Esper within her has faded, but her heart remains, strong and human. She has chosen love, chosen to protect life, chosen to live as herself. In Moblez, the children wait for her, and she smiles, knowing her place is with them. Celes watches her, remembering the lonely island, the cliff, the despair she almost gave into. She thinks of Locke, of the bandana that gave her hope, and of the new courage she carries now. Beside her, Locke looks out over the horizon, Rachel's memory finally at peace within him. For the first time, his heart feels light. Edgar and Sabin share a laugh, though soft and weary. Two brothers once divided by choice, now united again. Their kingdom waiting for them beneath the sands of Figaro. Cyan holds his head high, his family's memory no longer a chain, but a blessing. Shadow lingers at the edge, silent, his path uncertain, but even in his silence there is dignity. Realm clutches her brush, dreaming of a brighter future to paint. Strago places a hand on her shoulder, his wisdom tempered by the joy of family. Gao grins, happy to belong, no longer alone on the veldt. Mog and Umaro chatter in their own ways, simple but steadfast, while Gogo remains a mystery, their purpose fulfilled in quiet imitation. As the falcon cuts across the sky, the companions know the journey has ended, but the story of the world has only just begun. They will scatter to their homes, to rebuild and to heal, yet the bond they share will never fade. The sun breaks across the clouds, painting the world in gold. After ruin, after despair, the light of hope shines again. And so the tale of Final Fantasy VI closes, not with endings, but with beginnings. And so, tonight's chapter comes to a close. The world may be filled with ruin and rebirth, but in these stories, we always find hope. If this tale helped you relax, I'd be grateful if you softly tap like, subscribe for the next part, and share your thoughts in the comments. Perhaps tell me which scene or character from Final Fantasy VI stays with you most. Until the next story, rest well, dream deeply, and may peace guide you through the night.